Good evening, everyone. Welcome to closing comments here for June 10th. Let's jump right into our charts and see what happened in these markets today. First up, we got our August live cattle on the board. We did see a day of slight upside here for this live cattle market. Prices rallying back up here into the 240s, but nothing real groundbreaking here today. This market has been pretty sticky here in between 235 and 245 in recent weeks. As we can see here, the last about 3.5 trading weeks have been stuck here between 235 and 245. A couple probes of this 237 level, but each time we get down there, the buyers have a pretty nice response, rallying right back up here into the 240s. However, those bulls just can't really get much momentum here through the mid 240s. This overhead supply zone here between about 243 and 245 still keeping some selling pressure on each time we poke up into this area. This market still seeing some pretty loose and sloppy action here in the last couple days. Nothing to give us a real convincing or confident move out of here. We expect to see this choppy action here around these averages continue. Price seems pretty comfortable here on either side of 240. We need to see a little bit more better structure here, a little bit more stability for this market before we really get comfortable committing to the long side. But the bulls do need to get back up here above 245 and a quarter. In the event of that, we should see that rally get back underway. We could see this market push back up here towards this 250 to 251 all-time high. But we just still have a little bit of work to do here before we can get comfortable to the long side quite yet. Wouldn't be surprised to see some more volatile, choppy action here around this 240 mark in throughout the rest of the week. But if we continue to tighten up and put some pressure up here on these multi-week highs at 244, 245 and a quarter, could give us a nice little spot to trade around here if we're able to get this rally back underway. So in the meantime, slow play this thing. We'd like to see a little bit more stability in this market, a little bit better structure here. But at the moment, this thing doesn't seem like it's in a real hurry to go either direction. Expect some more choppy action here around these averages to continue here throughout the remainder of this week. Next up, here are August feeders on the board. Pretty quiet day here for this feeder market, only about a $4.50 range. Price just finishing almost unchanged on the day. Brief probe above those prior day highs, but just not really getting much traction there. This market still has this 20-day trading below that 50-day average, so we do have some resistance here as we continue to see a downtrend shape up. Are seeing lower highs and lower lows over the recent weeks, so this market still has a little bit of work to do before we can get comfortable back to the long side. Bulls need to get a finish back up here above 358.75. In the event of that, that should get that rally back underway, but we still have plenty of overhead resistance, a lot of supply above us, so it's going to be a tough climb out of there. But the bulls need to continue to find some stability here around 350. We haven't seen any major slips here in this feeder market in the last couple days, so as long as this market can stay comfortable here between 350 and 360, hopefully it can stick around here while we provide a little bit better structure and a little bit more stability here, give us a little better launch point here before we commit to that upside again. At the moment, though, looking like this cattle market's going to be pretty sticky in the area, and we should see some choppy action here throughout the remainder of the week. Next up, we go to July corn futures on the board. Today's action just repeating yesterday's. We did see a brief rally up there towards 4.25 again, but finishing the day back down here below 420. This market just seeing plenty of overhead resistance there. We could see a little bit of a relief rally still in the cards here, but at the moment, looking like those sellers are just pretty relentless up there around 4.25. Keep pushing this market lower. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing just continue to bleed back down there towards $4 if we get any sort of offers back down here below 416, either tonight during the evening session or into tomorrow's session. We could see this thing really start to push lower once again and start sniffing out that $4 mark. This downtrend remains intact. A little bit of a relief rally wouldn't be surprising, but at the moment, looking like these sellers in control, and we should see these corn prices keep on pushing lower. Next up, we got our crude oil futures on the board. A little bit of a bounce here today. Prices just finishing right above the prior day's high. Still seeing a little bit of support here in the mid 80s as this market is continuing to weigh heavy down here on this spot. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing run into some more resistance here in the low $90 range. These major averages also providing a little bit of resistance here. At the moment, not looking like we're going to have a very sustainable move to the upside, so expect to see these sellers continue to put pressure down here on this $85 to $90 level. Sellers are in control here at the moment, and we should see these crude prices continue to weigh heavy on 85 and eventually break back down here towards 80 to the $70 range. And next up, our equity markets losing some more ground here today. The S&P staying inside of that prior day's range, but getting a finish down here below 7,300 and that 50-day moving average. Nasdaq also losing a little bit of ground, but still managing to close inside yesterday's range and above that 50-day. The Dow did see this. We did see this Dow index slip a little bit here, pushing back down here towards that 50-day moving average. Each of our indexes still in a good uptrend, still seeing a good structure here, good shape over the last couple weeks. This uptrend still remains intact. We are seeing this market just coming off of some extremely overbought levels on each of these indexes. So this pullback we're seeing is nothing super concerning. We should see good dips to be bought up here from this market here throughout the next couple days or into next week. We are just seeing this thing cool off after a much needed cooling off in a much needed fashion after a relentless rally over the recent months. So wait for this market to stabilize and find a little bit tighter ranges, and we should see this market try and get back on track to the upside. But slow play this thing, let this thing calm down a little bit, stabilize, and should give us some pretty good opportunities to take this market higher into the summer months. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here tonight. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.